How's it going, everybody? It has been a while. Yeah, it's been a long time since I last uploaded, like a month and a half, I guess. So, I'm back. I was mostly just hanging out, living a life. Yes, I actually have a life, believe it or not. That might surprise some of you who watch my videos. Um, anyways, I'm back and I have lots of video ideas, so there should be a lot of videos coming pretty soon. I have a lot of cubes I can make videos on because I have like 8 new cubes since I last uploaded. But anyways, this is going to be not a video on a specific cube. In fact, it's going to be something that I've never really done before, which is more of a cubing advice type of thing. I've never really done any sort of tutorials or advice or any sort of cube teaching, mainly because I'm not that experienced. But this is something that I have a bit of experience in because it's my personal experience. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about the biggest mistake that I made when I was trying to improve at 3x3 over the course of the few years that I've been cubing. So let's just get right into this. The number one mistake that I made while I was trying to improve at 3x3 is not putting enough X factor emphasis PLL 12 point something S move objectively optimal ZBLL subset 42 F2L cross. I'm just kidding. The actual number one mistake that I made while I was trying to improve at 3x3 is simply being lazy, trying to make shortcuts in cubing when shortcuts in cubing don't exist. You can't really do that. You have to work hard. So obviously this is a very broad topic, so I'm going to be breaking it down into 3 points and different types of things that I actually did, mistakes that I made that all sort of fall under this category of just being lazy and trying to make shortcuts. So this isn't really geared at a specific 3x3 speed. These things that I'm going to be drawing from, different examples of things that I did, are going to be from all across different points in my cubing career. It's kind of weird for me to call it a career because it's not. But I can't think of any better term. So let's just get right into describing the mistakes that I made in my cubing career. So the first main point under this mistake, the first main point that I would like to talk about under this idea of just being lazy is trying to learn something the easy way instead of the right way. There's a couple instances where I did this, actually a lot more than a couple, but a few that I'm going to draw from in my cubing career that I did. And the first example would be when I first learned F2L. F2L is a very hard concept to learn, especially for beginners. I found that out in the last month because I've been trying to teach my friends F2L and it's hard to explain. But anyways, when I was first learning F2L, I learned it from this really weird place because the other places were too confusing, like the YouTube stuff. So I learned it from this weird website. And I learned this really stupid way. So essentially what I would do is I would put the corners for a certain F2L pair in, but not caring about the orientation, and then I would pair this up. So it's like doing layer by layer, but you don't care about the orientation of the corner. It was just a really weird and bad way to learn it, and the only reason I did it was because the other tutorials that I had looked up were just too hard for me, and I was too lazy to actually try and learn stuff. So if you look at my solves from this period, averaging 45 seconds, it's just really stupid. Another thing that I did that's an example of this is when I averaged around 25 seconds on 3x3, and I was learning the PLL algorithms. Now, anyone who's learned PLL knows the G-perms in particular are really hard, and I was just lazy and I learned really stupid algorithms for them because I didn't want any algorithms that had wide moves in them, so like this, or D moves in them, which is just totally stupid. But what I ended up doing was learning all these really long algorithms that were only RUF, but they were 25 moves long. So it wasn't even worth it compared to just 2-look PLL, but I can't even remember them now because I've just pushed them out of my memory because they were so dumb. So yeah, those are a couple examples of things that I did that were sort of learning the easy thing instead of doing it the right way first, which just wastes time in the end. It's like you're trying to look for a shortcut, but then it ends up taking longer because you have to relearn it the right way when you should have just learned it the right way the first time. So it ends up just wasting time, which is the opposite of what you're trying to do. The second main point that falls under just being lazy is substituting stuff for deliberate practice. What I mean by that is, let's say you're stuck at a barrier. Let's say you're stuck at sub 20. You can't get sub 20 average to save your life. You're like just there, but you can't seem to get it. What this would be is if you decided, oh, I'm gonna just learn ZBLL because that'll magically make me sub 20, when really your real problem is that you're not practicing. You're not trying to find your mistakes and then trying to fix them and then solve and get that down. You're not doing deliberate practice. It really bugs me to see people online asking for like advice or solve critiques when their biggest problem is that they don't practice. You'll ask them how many solves they do a week and they'll be like 2. See, that's the problem, is that people can substitute so many things for actual deliberate practice in order to think that they're improving on 3x3. Like, you can do, ask for a solve critique or advice, or you can learn a whole useless alg set because you think it'll make you faster, or you'll even buy a new cube thinking it'll be faster, or you can even fake solves just to think that you're faster when really that's not actually how fast you actually are. A very good example of this from my own cubing career is when I averaged like 30, I couldn't get sub 30, and I tried so many things. I tried like learning a bunch of algorithms, and I even tried out like other methods and stuff like Roux and Petrus, and I don't know if I tried ZZ. I think that might have been a little too complicated for me at the time. But anyways, I did that, and I also tried to get like new cubes, which at the time I was using not a great cube, so that might have helped, but that usually is not the way to go. Usually you just want to find your mistakes and improve them. Getting a new cube is usually, unless you have a very bad cube right now, not a good way to improve. So yeah, the main thing for this point is just practice, specifically deliberate practice, which is where you find what your mistakes are through analysis of your own solves, then you figure out a way to fix them, and then you grind out solves so that you get used to that. The final point under the idea of being lazy that I think is actually most important for people watching videos like this is when you just watch videos or get advice or learn something and then you don't act on it. This is a big problem I've seen, and I've seen other YouTubers talk about it as well, like Brody the Cuber I think made a video something about this, where people will like watch tutorials, example solves, or ask for advice or solve critiques or something, and then they'll get that and then they will just soak it in, but they won't do anything about it. And a video like this or any other video is useless if you don't like actually put what they tell you to do into practice. It's like expecting to magically be like faster because you watched the video. Watching the video won't make you faster. Putting the stuff that you learn from the video into practice will make you faster. And obviously, this isn't just videos, but that's a very common example of this problem, which I had also. Of course, what's funny is that I'm saying like to put into practice what you learned from a video in a video that you're watching that you could put into practice or not put into practice. It's like, I don't know if it's called an oxymoron, or is that a different thing? I don't know. I'm not good at these sort of things. It's like when you have the magazine with a person holding up a magazine with that person holding up a magazine. You know, you get the point. So that pretty much sums up what I did wrong during my cubing career and why you should not do that, basically, if you're trying to improve at 3x3 actively, which I'm not anymore. I'm just sort of a casual now. But I just wanted to give this sort of advice to people who are trying to improve at any skill level of 3x3. That was kind of the point of this video, is that I'm far from a 3x3 expert, but I do have my own experiences, and I can talk to people about this specific topic who are at a variety of skill levels. It's kind of not like specific advice, like you should put this corner here and do this specific F2L trick, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just don't be like what I did. Don't be lazy when you're trying to improve at 3x3. It never works out good. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video today. I really enjoyed making this video, so I hope you enjoyed watching it. And I will be back with more videos. This will not be another 1.5 month break until the next video. I do have a lot of cubes I need to make videos on. So I will see you guys later, and something.